silly hat, and that was the first thing that came up, and I was like, perfect, we're going with it.
Chocolate.
Ponies over here. Harry and Andy. Uncle Chase. Carrie and Adam and Adam's family entourage. And apparently Crazy Hat Guy being charmed by Jordan. I'm going to go with that. Leo and Arya. I haven't often pictured Leo's hair down like that. What is Parker?
Parker.
I think that's Parker.
As I made, I had reasons for all of these.
Hero. Who's this dude?
Because,
I admire the sweater. That's some teacher.
That's another one of the teachers.
It's gotta be one of the teachers. He's got some teacher sweater coming in there.
He was the chili guy, as I recall.
The
comment was. I can't remember which one that is.
Is that Pietro?
Gosling.
Pietro and Charlotte and Summer.
I love how you did Pietro's hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
For that flip move he does.
It was brought up last time that he had his hair like Jason Quill blonde.
But
perfect.
But worn
and we
like...
talked about him being and we talked about him being like goth Peter Parker, and I was just like,
boom.
Yep. We're combining all of this.
I love Jesus still like the nervous wringing of the arm thing is just I mean there's so much body language in these things that it's just fabulous.
As soon as I started like telling like a mental story with all this, it just all came in really nicely.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Especially with Jason being there like, who's that guy who has my hair? Wait, is he here with Charlotte? And Summer? Oh my God, where's Alicia? Did he take her too?
She's right behind you.
There's a really interesting addition to that, which is that in the MCU, for those who didn't notice this detail already, Tony Stark, the rich, troubled industrialist, through the movies as he's going through this mental stress, is experiencing like apparently arm pains. So he's doing that thing right there, which Jason is doing. So
he mentions it in passing in like Iron Man 1 for like a hot second, and it gets progressively worse throughout the movies.
Well,
you can watch.
Yeah, he has his arm in the sling at the very towards the beginning of Iron Man after he gets out of the cave.
Right, and the whole thing gets progressively worse the farther into the movie. I mean, yeah, you can do a search for it like Tony Stark's arm MCU or something like that, and they'll be like they've pieced together all the various animated images of the bits where he's done that in the various movies that Robert Downey Jr. has been doing in the movies ever since the beginning, and it just gets worse and worse. Rubbing his shoulders, usually his arm, but shoulder too. And they keep it consistently on that one side too, when he picks up more damage and stuff. Some of it's like damage shots of the armor and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that the Harry stress eats. Oh yes, by all means, caption the hell out of this. By all means. Okay, so session 51, season coming to a close. Very exciting. Charlotte, you have a text message.
Okay.
PTPP is the ID. Because for some reason he thought that would be even cooler than Pietro the Plasma Prince. Dinner beforehand? ? Winky face?
Still here?
So this is, I mean, they may be around, and certainly anybody who thinks that they're around, by all means, chime in. This would be like sort of noonish the day of. So there would have been, I'm trying to remember what all was happening. There was dresses going. There was a mani-pedi thing that Alicia was suffering.
An interesting Summer Alicia conversation.
Then we got the Summer Alicia conversation.
The Summer Oh, right, the room and board thing. I didn't. I started that twice and I kept getting interrupted. So I need to go back and actually. What are the highlights from the everything after the first two posts? Because I understand that room has been tentatively offered. So
yes,
that was
yeah.
my
yeah,
quick takeaway. But I need
yeah.
to go
The
back
quick
and
takeaway is Summer offered.
the third room or something.
Yeah. So Summer offered Summer offered a room after she checked with Applehack. But there isn't a third room. Basically, they were sitting there arguing over who was going to be sleeping on the couch.
Right.
And Alicia was like, "I'll sleep on the couch."
I couldn't tell if that was actually the thing or if that was just manufactured imaginary drama of what if there were even they offered space but there's only the one
No,
room.
I assumed that was the thing. I mean,
that's fine. I just didn't know one way or the other. I could get a bunk.
Alicia's still ostensibly going for this. This is a temporary thing until I find out more about the base or I figure something else out.
Well, yeah.
So sleeping on the couch is fine as long as she's got a place where she can stash her cosplay gear.
They make room in the hallway closet. Who really needs winter coats and stuff like that up there? They can jam those under bed. So basically the hallway closet's kind of yours. Applehack's not really one for bringing anybody home socially. And I don't know that Summer really is either. So it's not really a problem that you're kind of living in the front room. Except for the fact that everybody's walking through your bedroom most of the time. So to speak.
That's fine.
It is what it is.
I've
My nephew's been doing it for 10 months now. Despite the fact that his aunt and uncle have offered him a private room with his own bathroom. So,
Hey, were you right?
Yeah. Not that I'm bitter. I am, however, slightly bemused. Dude, seriously? Free room and board? Washer and dryer 10 feet away? People that are too lazy to cook half the time, ordering you food whenever you want it? And cooking the rest of the time? Whatever. I'm not bitter.
Screaming kids at various times of day?
He's in the basement. They stay away from him. They actually half the time forgot he was here.
They go downstairs.
Yeah, but they don't go in his room. They didn't go in his room. Anyway, it could be. Could be my kids drove off. Anyway. So, yes. Who would be around, I guess, when you get this text message? If anyone. Could be some of the ponies, too. You might end up... this could be like Dusk Shine.
Of?
What's that?
Of?
The day of?
Oh, yeah. Yes. This is the day of, probably... 6 hours to go. T minus 6 hours. I love that picture so much.
So Charlotte is debating whether it is better to set some ground rules or to skip those few hours of interaction and.
I'm going to say that you guys are probably at Duskshine's place. Just because it's easier to bring everybody to the makeup than bring the makeup to everybody. So that would have just happened at her, apartment. Which doesn't make it any roomier, but everybody kind of knows where it is. So
that's the way that they wrote it up.
Yeah, which is fine.
They wrote it up. So that's good.
Yeah, you guys can all be kind of hanging out there, probably wrapping up and figuring out afternoon stuff when you get this text message. So what do you do?
So the question is, do I have dinner with him and try and set some ground rules, or do I meet him at the? Do I wimp out and meet him at the dance? I have a couple of ponies here.
I don't often use the Gaming X card, where we just kind of veto certain language or topics, but can we never ever combine Pietro the Plasma Prince and the phrase "whip it out" ever again, please? It's my personal request. What's that? You said I'll just go to the dance and whip it out. I'm like, no.
No. Wimp. Clear your ears out.
Wimp. Okay, wimp.
Wimp out.
So much.
No.
Just
I can't unsee that.
deeply confused now. Okay, so why don't you? I'm gonna.
It doesn't help that the GIF.
So let's actually I'm gonna have you roll your mundane. I would like you to pierce the mask and find out sort of what may be the best move here with him. You've observed him. Summer's right there. She's observed him multiple times. Alicia is she wasn't around him. She would have punched him by this point.
She's seen him at school.
Sure,
so
she's seen him at school.
Everybody's seen him at school. He makes sure that everybody's seen him at school.
There's also that. A 9. Okay, so
Not bad with my +0.
and you guys can certainly help if you wanted to get it up to a 10. With piercing the mask,
With Charlotte being slightly clueless.
Yep. Ask 1, what are you really planning? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? How could I get your character to behave? Is that probably the question that you're asking?
I'd be happy to assist.
I mean,
and just
it seems to me as though if we only go for the one question, probably the core thing is how can I get Pietro to comport himself in a gentlemanly fashion, or just less like a raging bag of dicks.
Well, actually, though, if we do bump it up, the last question also would be appropriate in solving the second.
True.
How I gain influence over you will influence the how could I get your character to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I believe you should have dinner with him. I think having dinner is important, as you said, laying of ground rules, and you can make it clear what you will or will not accept.
And Alicia's additional...
Your dinner yet?
No, I haven't.
Alicia's additional point there is that it's also probably a good idea for you, only you, to have dinner with him. And Alicia, your reasoning here is, given his personality, if it's just him and she...
If it's just him, he's going to be behaving differently,
he'll fold,
and he'll be able to back down in a way that
if there's witnesses, his rep or his ego is on the line, and he's less likely to be compliant. Whereas if it's just him, she's a lot more likely to get at him. So the move there is to go in at least visually solo. Not that there's much to worry about in a restaurant, but I mean, he's an arrogant cuss, but I don't know that he's ever been. I'm trying to think back because he shows up in the hot mess stuff, and I don't know that he's ever been like skeezy, just sort of like juvenilely. He's been juvenilely like self-centered and full of himself. But he's not been, I don't think, like massive ick factor.
No. I think he does a lot of playing at how he thinks a cool guy who gets all the chicks should behave.
Right. But that just makes him clueless. That doesn't, I mean, to be fair.
Yes. But
that's damning.
Again, your point is well taken. If he's alone with her over dinner, then he's going to behave differently and perhaps be more willing to listen to her than in the middle of a crowd.
I will also suggest that.
I was about to ask what Summer had to add to this. So.
Well, not Summer, but me as a player. The stuff that I had written for him had him sort of craving that respect and craving attention and craving recognition. And part of that was taking his cues from people who talked and acted like they knew what they were doing and people who seemed to have high social status.
Right.
So, yeah, he's probably not going to be skeevy. What he's probably going to be doing is doing that sort of like puppy dog following around of somebody who presents a strong, image. And any girl who's likely to listen to him and talk to him, like he may just be like, yeah, I'm just going to attach to you now.
He's very likely to sort of, I don't want to say bend over backwards, but that's not inaccurate. It's a positive reinforcement thing. If a certain type of behavior actually seems to like pay dividends, he's likely to continue it just because. I mean.
So now we're in an episode of. God, I'm losing names. I'm thinking of the time when Sean is training Penny with positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
Yes. Big Bang Theory.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So we had we had the question, how can I get you to comport yourself in a seemly fashion? How can I get influence over you? What was what third thing? Or you can save it maybe for the conversation, I guess.
Save that for when we get to the dance.
Okay. All right. Yeah, might need it then. Okay. So you just yes. He asks if you have any food preference or. Shall I decide? He said shall in a text message. Just making that clear.
Because that would be cute.
Are you letting him pick?
Isn't she like? Well, thinking of Jason's recent experience with A10, I will probably say, I like a lot of different kinds of food, but nothing too spicy.
Nice.
Could impact
Jason
her,
with Alicia.
but
Not A10.
So, yeah.
it was you and A10, Harry and A10 is what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Harry and A10, not Jason and A10. That's just even confusing. That would not go well for Jason. Or it'd be terribly awkward for both of them. Actually, I'm kind of leaning towards that second one. All right. In that case, now does anybody ride backup or like at a different table or anything, or are you just gonna go and it's all good? Which brings up another question. Harry, you get a text. How are we going to go? Question mark.
I'm getting a lot of.
This is a text from Andy. How are we going to go?
Hopefully together.
Really well?
Duh. See, I feel as though, I mean, I know it's not super exciting viewing, but I love actually texting in the chat between these two because it speaks to the player's generation very well. But anyway, and also it's funny to hear James's keyboard just going away. No, I mean, how are we getting a car? Are we sharing a car with a bunch of people? Are we just gonna run/fly?
Is your dad driving us?
Are we gonna run/fly? Do you even have a driver's license? I don't, she says.
I have a plan.
Did you say you have a plan?
Yes. And then I quickly text Jason if I can borrow one of his cars.
Oh my God, one of the quill discs? Are you kidding me?
No, not one of the quill discs. He has to have normal cars somewhere there.
Yeah, I'm sure we've got some fleet cars here. You
The-
probably want
one
one of
of
the
the
nice. You
electric
want one of the
cars?
nice. They send like the airport to pick up important guests, as opposed to, like the
I
ones
mean-
they take out to the oil field.
The
my
small
God.
electric cars that can't go over 50.
Oh God,
I-
yes. And self-driving. It's great, Harry. You just tell it where you want to go, and it will drive you there. Not fast, but it will drive you there. So you can chat. It's so cool. I'm sure it would be great for especially after the dance.
Oh my god, are you picking up Alicia in that?
No, God, I've got a Q disc.
Of course you do.
God! Oh, God.
Of course you do.
God.
Oh my god. I had this one. I saw this little thing a couple weeks ago. Jalopnik, which is not generally a website I follow, but they do these like, hey, I'm so and so, and I need a new car. What kind of car should I get? And the writers like suggest various vehicles, and one of them from about a week ago was it was like, I've been biking my entire life, but now I need to drive. What should I get? And oh my god, wait. Oh yes, this has got to be it. Where view image? Oh my goodness gracious, this is perfect. This has got to be with the quill. We don't have a lot of respect for quill technology here in the text chat.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now we have less.
Yes. Yes.
Where's the queue?
You have no idea
It's
though.
on the back
The crash
and on the
test.
top and on the steering
It's
wheel.
the steering wheel.
Yeah, the steering wheel.
Where
The little,
the little turn indicator makes a little Q.
Oh my god.
Tail on the Q.
That is but the crash test ratings are so good on that. And it's got
Oh
like,
God, yeah. You
That's
literally cannot be
because it
killed
doesn't
while
go
in this
over
car.
40.
you literally,
That's
I
part
mean-
of why you cannot be killed in this car.
You will
doesn't
die
go
of
over 40.
embarrassment instead.
but you cannot be killed. I mean, I love that Jason's like made it like, seriously, you cannot be killed in this car, and like, yes, but you'll want to die. Oh man.
I'm not picking up Andy in that.
So good.
I text him specifically, don't give me one of the dorky death cars.
Oh, Quillmobiles?
Death cars.
Death cars.
If you want a limousine, there's a link in Roll20 chat for you there.
I must. Yes. Oh my god. That's so good. I mean, really, logically.
That's so many gull wings. It's a shame it doesn't take off.
My god. I want all of you guys to show up in that. That's so good. Like, just collectively.
No, I'm sorry. We've had enough time travel in this group for 1 year. Okay.
Yes. Well, a year is so subjective, really.
Always ask Otto, but he may be taking
Mary.
He's spoken for, yeah.
I don't think he's going necessarily. He's just gonna drop all y'all off and then go, okay, we're gonna.
Harry would be kind of self-conscious making it in the back seat of Otto. Just saying.
I can't find the picture I want. There's such a great like
you,
little.
like you.
There's such a great little like sort of import cargo van, and it was such a mess. It was adorable. All right, so you text Jason with the car. All right, so yeah, you're gonna drive. You got a plan? She sends you a terrified emoji, like the wide eyes, like at the idea of you having a plan, but she lets it go. Okay. So did that and that. Andy and Harry. That's sorted. Alicia, has Jason indicated whether or not you guys are going out to eat beforehand?
We're breaking out there, Joyce.
Sorry. What I asked was, has Jason indicated whether or not you guys are going out to eat beforehand?
at this point in the story, he's indicated he's sending a car for me.
I see.
So that yes, we're going to go eat someplace, but he's not saying where. But he says I'll love it.
Okay. All right.
Of course, he can't just pick her up because secret base.
Sending a car. Of course, sending a car. Okay, so dinner. Alicia is gonna go to dinner with Jason. Charlotte's gonna go to dinner with Pietro. And before the conversation can really go much further than that, the ponies announced that they will be collectively crashing by hiding behind Summer's skirts as she goes, and then they will meet you all at the dance. Before it gets awkward that, Summer, is dateless and has no dinner plans. Maury kind of, I love, incidentally, Bill, thank you so much for coming up with the Maury's going to cover superheroes at the dance kind of angle on that, because that's perfect and exactly what I was hoping for there. So, Adam, you got a jacket, right? And you're getting.
I got a jacket.
Have you?
And a nice shirt.
How is Adam's? How is his Thai kung fu? Non-existent.
Not good.
Not good. All right. So, your dad is probably showing you about that stuff, and he's actually asking you like. The problem with your dad is you see him in a shirt and tie kind of every day. Not every day, but often. And it seems more like work clothes than him dressing up. And he doesn't want to, and if he gets clothes that actually look like him dressing up, it looks too fancy. So he's kind of like, he goes, so I'm going to ask you something a little weird. What do you think your dad should wear to this thing? I'm worried about your mom. She's gonna she'll pick out something perfect, but I don't know what to wear to this thing. I mean, I don't want to look like I'm going to arrest everybody, although I will totally arrest everybody if I have to.
And I'm just gonna give him this blank look, and it's just like,
you can have an opinion.
I mean, yeah, he's just like, you always look nice.
That's thanks, bud. That's all right. Well, I'll just I guess I'll just make it work. Hey, that reminds me. Do we need to pick up your friend, who is a girl and not your girlfriend? Your friend, Carrie?
Adam is going to give him a.
I was just clarifying. I'm not making any jokes. Swear, I'm not making any jokes. But do we need to pick her up or something? Are you going to meet her there, or?
Yeah, we need to pick her up.
Okay. All right.
The whole family in the station wagon.
I mean, Jordan will be very happy. She's wearing the dinosaur outfit, by the way, apparently.
Now I'm just like, kind of like groans for a half second. It's like, okay, I'm prepared.
All right. We'll keep her clear of you. She knows not to go running out onto the middle of the floor unless she's been invited. Jordan, the dance vampire. And yeah, all right, that all works. Okay. I think that's kind of working my way back around. Summer, you getting a text also? You're also getting a text from Jason. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to touch base. Are you going to be at the dance tonight?
I'll be there.
Cool. And there's a long pause. Cool. Had some questions about some compound access logs that some folks asked me about. No big problems, but I did want to know if there was anything I could do to help. So, if you want to talk shop, we can talk shop. If there's shop to talk. Question mark? Eggplant? No, not eggplant.
Is Jason trying to set up safe harbor in case he goes down in flames?
No. Jason has completely unrelated to everything. Here's Jason right now. Jason is twiddling his thumbs, and his thumbs happen to be near his phone. He's nervous as all get out, and he's trying to kill time. And it occurs to him that now would be the perfect time to get some business done by talking about the fact that apparently Summer's been randomly accessing the Quill compound and using like the medical/mechanical bays at random and very weird hours. And it came up on a, sort of a, not exactly an alert database, but just, you wanted to know if there was any weird access going on, and that was one of them. And it occurred to him that he may kind of possibly know what that's about, or at least have questions. And yeah, I mean, why not bring that up since you'll both be in the same place? What could possibly go wrong? It'll occur to him in about 15 minutes what could possibly go wrong by setting up time to talk with Summer at a dance he's supposed to be taking Alicia to, but only after he sent the text.
I wouldn't dream of distracting you from the dance tonight, but we can talk about it some other time. I'll see you soon.
Okay. See you there. Thumbs up, smiley face, worried face, vaguely blue face with a teardrop over it. Secondary note, I don't actually know what that last one means, so if it's anything weird, just ignore it. Just seemed to be appropriate. He's got run-on text going on right now.
I will text him because Summer knows for Alicia that Jason is in good shape with this whole dance situation, and she will just say, "I'm very proud of you."
Okay? Question mark. Okay. So, Charlotte. I wish, to a certain extent, that... Okay, so we had questions laying out there for Pietro, right? And the first one was, how can we get you to comport yourself? And I think laying down the ground rules in a straightforward and polite yet firm manner is probably the way to go there as far as that goes. How can I get...
Me practice. Summer and Alicia have been making me just saying no. my firm. Hopefully I don't come across as Alicia.
I think that's a bad idea. Yeah. Say it with me, Charlotte. Well, I don't want to... I think that is a bad idea. No, you may not. Say it with us.
Back off or you'll lose that finger. A continuum of response, okay?
Unless you want to see what hell looks like. And then finish the sentence however you like, dear.
Yes, and you all seem to forget the fact that you have to be anywhere she doesn't want to be.
Yeah. How can I gain influence over you? I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's...
If she says to a date, I think she already has, but...
Well, I mean, a lot of it boils down to simply being firm without like totally freezing him out the entire night in terms of just like I will stand next to you, but we're not talking. That's not the way to get there. But you know,
I mean, because her plan is not to do that. Her plan is to actually try and encourage him to behave in a more appropriate fashion.
and if he's left
Opposed to
hey, I kind of felt like a cool dude, and didn't then kick myself repeatedly 2 hours later after analysis, realizing I was a complete tool again. So yeah, kind of how that goes. What are the how does this so he orders so he brings you to basically it's a seafood place. I mean, technically you get like steaks there and stuff, but basically it's seafood. But it's a very nice seafood place. You know, the ocean air with an E at the end, or something, and not too, oh my God, I gotta go back up here and look at I'm hearing all the chats bang off here and I'm missing them.
Oh, I like that. Oh, ha. Adam Hughes. Okay.
Cute. Casual Friday.
it's nice.
Okay, so, and then he orders, like, he's not trying to be coy about drinks or anything like that. Just order whatever. The waiter is very good. Chats about
First Valentine's date.
Yeah, he and Pietro doesn't say that the place was hard to get seats to, but he does sort of mention that he feels kind of lucky that the Valentine's Day dance isn't actually on Valentine's Day because of weekend timing, because he probably wouldn't have been able to get seats here. I say seats here. On short notice, but he was glad he did, because my parents, friends, and my family really love this place, and I've eaten here a few times, and it's really good. And what does he order?
Cut him off there and say, "Well, that was very thoughtful of you. This looks delightful. Thank you."
Well, you said not too spicy, and as long as you avoid a few things, I think you'll probably be fine. Black pepper thing. He mansplains a bit about what putting black pepper on food does. I mean, he's not a skeeve.
For all you
that
know,
doesn't mean
Charlotte
he's not
doesn't know it.
Yeah, I
So
was
you
gonna
know.
say, I mean, he's not a skeeve, but at the same time, he's still,
Show off a little bit.
teen boy and a bit of an idiot. So, and he knows stuff, so he's got to share stuff. He orders some.
See,
crab
Jason
cakes
really
or
likes
something.
Pietro because it just makes him feel better.
Yes. I had a really close friend in high school that I loved going to events with because I looked like a freaking genius, polite, well-groomed young man, because this guy he just turned into a stumbling idiot with a mouth that would not keep him out of a hole. And I couldn't help but look good next to him. It's great. Anyway, so yeah, Pietro making everybody else in the room look good. But not too bad. He talks, and he's kind of nervous talking. Drinks come. He ordered.
You're trying to find some common conversations to have with him to keep up my end of the conversation and sort of demonstrate the ebb and flow of polite, dinner chat, which of course Charlotte is an expert at.
He is,
unlike Alicia's status topics.
Right. And he is. So, my son is 7. And as I believe it was Dave once upon a time who shared or opined, I think it was shared, the observation that generationally speaking, if you take a kid and then add 10 years, they kind of just, or anybody really, and just add 10 years, they come back around to the same behavior again. So
that was my the chief of pediatrics
yes,
at Kaiser. 2 and 10, it's all about independence and control.
yeah,
Work up from there.
yeah. And if you if you take a 7-year-old, you're going to act in some ways a lot like 17-year-olds and stuff. So there's a girl lives across the street. She's in kindergarten. So she's in the same grade as Zoe, which has got my daughter just thrilled. But Zoe is about to turn 5. She's not quite even there yet. So she's on the very young end, and this girl's on the very old end of the grade. So her birthday is 2 days before Zoe and a year ahead. So she's basically 6. Sean is 7. So yeah, it's weird because Sean's like 2 years ahead of these two, but he's only like a year ahead of this girl in age. And she's cute, and she is apparently, I judge as an outside observer, my son's type. Okay, I don't think that he realized he had a type. I don't think that he's realized yet that he has a type. I don't know if he knows that he's doing this. But she came over for a play date, and that was, I think, bar none for my son, the most exhausting 2.5 hours of his life. Because from the minute that she walked in the door until the minute that she left, his only purpose in life was to make this girl laugh. Anything that he needed to do that would make that happen, up to and including bodily injury and blood, he's game. He is down to clown. No matter what happens, he'll tell funny stories. He'll do funny voices. He will randomly grab plastic things and slam them into his head and bounce them off and grin like it didn't hurt. Whatever it takes to make this girl smile, and he will be floating on cloud 9. And he never... Now I realize this is a pot calling a kettle black thing here, and he never stopped talking. Not for 2.5 hours. Not even, I don't know when he breathed. I don't know when he inhaled. But yeah, you could just, this boy had it bad. So I will project 10 years forward from this to Pietro. And it's not that he's not being intentional. I don't think he's being intentionally rude. But he desperately wants this to work and impress the girl. So you're trying to interject topics of conversation, and as soon as he gets the cue, he never says, just hang on a minute, I need to finish what I was saying. He'll immediately shift to whatever you say, but he never lets you actually say anything, because as soon as you provide the topic, then he talks. And he'll talk until you provide the next topic if he gives you a half sentence to do so. And as soon as he even kind of guesses what it is that he's off. And this goes on for as long as you sort of let it go on. So my question there is, how long do you let it go on, and how do you rein this in?
It's 3 topics.
3 topics. You let him go for 3 topics before you're finally okay.
Then he gets to learn the politely raised finger.
And he doesn't immediately pause.
It's immediately, it's like...
He does wind down fairly quickly.
I don't respond to him or anything like that. I just
wait for the... And...
Darling, that is fascinating. But I would like to have a conversation, not a monologue.
And he kind of opens his mouth to say something, and then he stops, and his neck, I should say, he gets pink from the neck, from the collar up, and it just keeps going.
Introduce another topic. It's just a very gentle, And so then I introduce another topic, and like the origins of sweet tea in the South.
And conveniently, you've picked a topic that he's also not particularly well versed on. Although he is currently having, I mean, his contribution up for like the first 2 minutes is that he's currently drinking an Arnold Palmer that's made with sweet tea, as opposed to the unsweetened version. It's really funny that you mentioned that because about a month ago I read like a long thing about the difference between sweet tea and tea that has had sweetener added to it. I had no idea that it was like sort of a in the brewing process kind of thing. Anyway,
I'm just annoyed that now I have to specify even in Denver places. You used to be, you go to the South, you need to make sure you ask for unsweetened tea. But now it's like, can I have a nice tea? Sweetened? No. Normal.
This is the West. Anyway,
Sorry.
No, I get it. That's the ever encroaching sugar culture, I think. Anyway, so yeah, he for that first sort of bit, it's really more you talking because he's embarrassed enough and halted up enough that he's kind of like, I'm going to err on the other side of things. So, I mean, do you let that go, or do you eventually kind of like pull him into this, to kind of get his?
No, I'll let him participate, and then I'll bring him into the conversation as if nothing happened.
I see. Okay. All right. And he comes into this hesitantly, and you're interrupted at some point in time for ordering food. He orders, he starts to order salmon, and then he sort of stops himself and has swordfish instead. So what's Charlotte gonna have? I'm just curious. While you ponder that, I'm gonna cut over to Alicia. What picks you up?
The Q-disc picks me up.
An empty Q-disc picks you up.
Autonomously. Yes, at the Aegis compound. As I noted in my tale about all of this, they wouldn't actually provide Jason with the location, but they did send him an encrypted navigation package to actually guide the Q-disc there.
God. So all we see, and I'm doing this so that the GM can interject himself into this scene at some level, is looking out through a window from the Aegis thing, Parker looking down at this cute non-manned Q-disc as his way of picking up Alicia, and she's pinching the bridge of her nose like, boy, what? And, that's all we're going to see there. It's just kind of her sadly shaking her head. And she turns to one of her little minions that she's frequently the one that we've had conversations with in the past is, and we'll, say, sadly, he's probably the best she could do. And I don't mean that I don't mean that to put her down. I mean that he's probably the best anybody could do. And yet, automated frisbee for the pickup. What? There. Where does the disc take her?
The disc takes her to Pinnacles, which is a rotating. Did you probably didn't get a chance to read my way freaking too long tale of Alicia and Jason's dinner. We'll
just let it lead in. No, I haven't had a chance. I have like a reading
list. I understand there was a lot there.
Well, I'm actually doubly annoyed right now because it's actually very difficult for me to not only get to Roll20, but it's also difficult for me to get to email, which is, Margie knows my pain. New at least. And it's really, really difficult to kind of like dig time out. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I understand. Anyway, it's Pinnacles. It's a very high class. It's a rotating restaurant.
Nice.
It's owned by a former size growing person who actually did some work with Byron and Quill. So he's kind of an old friend of the family. So that's where Jason's taking her.
Nice. Okay. Charlotte, what did you end up ordering? I'm just curious. Quickly.
So, what I'm having is a fried fish. It's a white fish. It's local to North Carolina. And then with some hush puppies and some other traditional
You're having the proper
ingredients.
classic. Sure.
Having a southern fish fry, but it's not catfish. It is not.
It's too common. I love it.
Probably like a sea bass or something like that.
Sure.
Which
Sure.
the seeds there.
Okay. So now, do you make any comment to the what's the next topic? I'll come at it from that direction. What's the next topic of conversation? Or do you let him kind of try his hand at talking like a human?
I will. I'll give him pause to do that, and if not, I will come in with something.
Is that? And if this is none of my business, is that sort of the sort of thing that you would have had in the past? Is it?
I don't mind you asking at all. Yeah, I mean, fried fish is a very common, especially with cornmeal. Very, very historical. But it's something I just find it very tasty, and sweet tea is something that's newer, and I love too. So there's good and bad.
Comfort food.
But yourself, why are you ordering swordfish? That's not something I've normally had very much of.
It's closer to steak, and I'm more used to that. Sometimes the fish is sort of mushy, and I didn't want you to have to breathe salmon all night. So.
Well, that was very sweet of you. I appreciate that. Well,
you're welcome. He kind of looked pretty pleased with himself. All right. So I don't want to spend the entire night on food. So as much as I might normally want to spend the entire night on food.
I don't anticipate any major disasters in my meal.
Well, no, it's not.
Alicia's.
I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, Alicia. Yeah. I mean, if you're about to spill food on your dress, you can just turn them substantial. It's fine. I'll look at this again real quick. Oh, Irma coming out of the t-shirt. So good. All right.
Cute.
So cute. All right. So, and Dave, I'll jump past the meal since you had written it all up rather extensively.
Do you want to know the bottom line of dinner?
What is the bottom line of dinner? And I will read it.
The bottom line of dinner is they go back and forth and have a lot of interesting conversations, but it kind of ends in a stressed argumentative note because he actually, having learned that she's getting out of stir and is going to be, crashing at Summers, offers to let her stay at his place. Then, well, no, I don't want charity. Well, I could give you a job. And no, I really don't want that. And it's like, that ends things on kind of a tense note.
I see.
Well, if it's too much of an imposition, do you still want to go to the dance? Yes, I would like to go to the dance with you. Okay. Waitress?
Oh, lovely. Lovely. Okay. So, and Leo, do you make a bit of a night of it with Arya? Do you go out, or is it more like, I mean, does this turn into a bit of a date night ahead of time kind of thing, or what's the plan there?
I think they, rather than going out, are going to have this long, deep conversation about their future.
I see.
and like a lot of things just happened, and they have a lot to figure out.
Does she
So
know what his thing is going to be? Like his big. Is she in on the? Does she get advance notice of the?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I figured. And is there a pickup at the airport to do just beforehand?
That's up to you.
I think so. Otto thought you two would come along. You know, just as a chaperone. Because I'm clearly not to be trusted.
They are happy to deal up with him. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So. God, I can't remember why she's named Mary, but it's from a song. I just can't remember what the name of the song is
Private
now.
Mary.
Yeah. Yep. Mary is honestly, she could be I can't remember where I said she was originally from, but she could be from anywhere, honestly, anywhere in the Midwest. Hair's back in a bit of a queue because she's been on the airplane, and she leather jacket, like Metallica t-shirt, like vintage touring Metallica t-shirt. Lots of bracelets. One hand.
How many piercings?
What's that?
How many piercings?
A fair number. Nose more like multiples in the ears kind of thing. One nose stud. I don't know if an eyebrow thing. I don't know what's Otto's opinion on piercings. The more metal, the better. The less metal, the better. I don't know. She's kind of dressed like she's ready to get on a motorcycle, honestly. Not with the big boots though, but definitely like sturdy. I don't know the name of the shoes, but anyway, she comes out. But you had texted a little bit like, we're here. We're kind of all wearing white and red, and she's like, yeah, shouldn't be a problem. And the reason it shouldn't be a problem is because Otto sent a picture. She's not looking for the people. She's looking for the car. She's looking for Otto. And
try that image in Roll20, by the way.
Oh, image in Roll20.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. Except sort of in a queue, kind of a thing. A little bit more muscular than that. Like, works on cars and can, can't lift an engine block by herself, but, can certainly use the pulley system perfectly well. And isn't that she's a complete metalhead and stuff like that, but definitely, yeah, that's ideal. Except even more classic, like before they could really do grab, like a proper old black, so old it's gray, Metallica t-shirt. But other than that, yeah, bang on the money.
Yeah,
she comes over and she's like, cause it's honestly all eyes on the car. And she's actually talking on her phone as she walks out of the airport. And you hear this because you guys are sort of standing outside the car, and you hear like Otto's voice inside the cab and realize that they're talking to each other. She kind of like halfway chin nods at the two of you for like just a half second, and she starts to get in, like, so she pulls open the car door on the door on the passenger side, and the door opens. He's like, "Get in the driver's seat, woman." And she's like, fine, fine, fine. Goes around the other side. She goes, I guess I'm chauffeuring you two? Or we are? And she gets in, and you start to kind of go around, and you hear the doors lock for a second on the car. He goes, he's just, and he kind of like Sato does like a little outside the car kind of, just give us a minute here for a sec. And there's grinning, and there's a lot of blinking, and a lot of laughing, and a lot of nervous laughing. She keeps like not quite putting her hands on the steering wheel. It's like an automatic thing, but at the same time a little bit weird. Because it's more like holding hands. They're figuring stuff out. About 30 or 40 seconds later, the doors, unlock, and the window rolls down. She goes, okay, all right. Sorry, hi. And she, leans her arm out. Hi, I'm Mary. Hi, sorry, just, hi, sorry. You guys want to get in?
I was gonna call an Uber, but yeah, I guess.
No. Don't be an ass. Don't be an ass. No, we'll chauffeur you over to the den. You look amazing, by the way, she says to Arya. You look amazing. And you look great, too, also. There.
All right,
Leo.
sounds good.
So, she's gonna... So, you guys kind of get in the back, kind of, and... They're talking they're talking a mile a minute. They're talking about everything except for, oh my God, we finally got to meet each other. They're just talking about everything else. Random crap from the forums and people that they sort of mutually know and text messages that they got. And yeah, I saw that online a couple of bits. And there's actually a bit there in the middle where they kind of run out of that random stuff that they would talk about anyway, conversation topics, and it gets a little awkward silence, sort of, in the car, because there's maybe other stuff they would talk about, but not while you guys are there, or maybe there isn't, and it's building up to a point where it's potentially uncomfortable. What do you do?
If you two are going to race while we're dancing, just don't lose the pink slip. That's all I ask.
Like I would lose my... Right. No, of course we're not going to race. I mean... And... No, we're not going to... And she's like, wait, we're not? I thought we were going... So they kind of like, so there's a lot of, they kind of,
On the ace ray.
They kind of, that breaks them enough out of that to talk to you guys about like, how's the heroics thing going? How's the dance thing going? When do we need to, when are you guys, do we need to pick you up after? And now there's like, no, Harry's folks said something about there's going to be an after party. Should be super cool because his dad's planning it. Whatever. Hey, we don't have any like solid plans. So if you guys need anything or need us to swing by and pick you up, just let us know. All right.
Well, that's cool. The only thing is, Mary, I built something for you. Arya's going to help take your measurements to do the final fitting for it, though.
You what now?
You'll see.
And yeah, Otto's like, I swear I didn't know anything about it. So if it's really cool, I have awesome friends, and if it's not really cool, I didn't know it was happening.
out of character, Leo, as mentioned, built a auto scale suit for her to put on.
Right.
But
No, that's awesome.
nobody knows about that except for Arya at this point.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember you'd mentioned it, but I had forgotten about it. But I remember when you said it. But yeah, that's super cool. All right, so they get you over there. Alicia and Jason arriving. Jason sort of kvetching yet again about how the thing isn't built for parking spaces and just poorly designed for that, or just not thinking very far forward again. And Alicia like, well, it's a pity that you just can't possibly ever change this design and do your own.
But he has repurposed the kind of general integrity force field to actually shelter you a bit from the weather and cold when you're driving around in February.
So your hair's not getting messed up, and also you're not freezing and getting, although it's not, well, it's still cold, but anyway. Pietro shows up in a rented limo, of course, because, cliche. How do the ponies all show up with Summer? I mean, is it all it's probably just a gaggle of cars or whatever. Mass transit, actually. So, and that's Nono and everything. Alicia, as you're landing, you're getting a text message from Daff saying, are you here yet? Moral support required. Where is my bathroom buddy?
Oh God, I had no idea I was going to have to do this, juggle that with this.
Didn't you?
Just landing. We'll see you shortly.
Landing? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark.
Yeah, I'll explain.
Okay. So, Adam, your dad pulls up, and lets you know that he and your mother and Jordan will take an appropriate amount of time to come in and immediately go to the volunteer station so that you can walk in by yourself. And Carrie's like, it's fine. It really doesn't matter. It's not like, we have to,
Yeah. Yeah. And Adam's just going to, go along with that. Just like, no, it's fine. We can all go in together.
Oh, okay. I guess he's not old enough to think that we're terrible. All right. Great.
Adam just went to a bad future. He is perfectly fine being around his family.
He wants to be around his parents as much as he can. Harry, you went and picked up Andy in this is one of the situations.
Jason did offer to send over a normal looking car,
sort of like a Quill version of a cool Tesla.
No,
not a cool Tesla.
He sent over the sensible looking car.
The Lincoln Town car, the real Lincoln Town car that they send to the airport for the politicians who don't appreciate cool science.
Okay.
I'm going to a dance. Not a convention.
Yes?
Not a convention.
What better place? Oh, God. At least my date's going to go well, I'm sure.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You and A10 can have a good chuckle over the quill disc when you arrive.
All right. Okay. So this is okay, so you guys are driving. Harry's driving this boat. Very nice boat. Leather seats. And it's kind of dead silent in there. And he's like, this is a little weird. Is this a little weird? just to drive? Feels a little weird. Hello?
A10 says that she isn't going to fly in that dress.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, don't get me wrong. So what did your dad mean by they're being like they're handling the after party? What was that about? Do you know anything about it?
I don't know,
Are you
and I'm
really?
incredibly concerned.
Really? Are you sure? Are you positive you don't know? Are you holding out on me, Gail?
If I knew, it would be wonders on my nerves.
Okay.
But, that's...
Knowing implies that he has influence over it, which he does not.
But, that's for later.
Right.
I think...
Let's go do this thing, this dance thing. Hey, you know what?
Cool party people.
You know what? We're actually probably going to be better at this than most people. Like, we've been in a dance class together. Like, we know how to dance. A little bit.
Yeah, take that, gym credit.
Yes, exactly. This is good, right?
You're all set as long as it's the Mexican hat dance.
I'm sure you will stun them all, Andy.
I'm sure the 2 weeks that we spent on square dancing will come in very handy this evening. I'm positive of it.
And the extra week learning how to do a line dance.
That actually, I could actually see doing that. Maybe not. No, I can do it in this dress. I bet I can do it in this dress. I'm going to try. If there's line dancing, we're doing it. And you have to do it at regular speed. Otherwise, it gets weird. I'll lose my place. All right. So, you guys have pull up and park. You're walking in. Jason's disc is landing.
Aren't you glad that I didn't pick you up in that?
God, yes. How? What? Wouldn't? I mean, well, again, the last time you drove a regular car, you ended up crashing it out of the sky. So I suppose, I mean, this is probably an improvement. I suppose. Is okay. So I'm trying to remember who the irregulars would be here. Andy would be here. Is that most of them? I don't think Harrison doesn't go.
TK.
TK. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. TK is here. I think that's most of them from the irregulators. Anyway. Okay. So yeah, you spot Chase around. Alicia, you're walking up with Jason. He offers his arm.
I only hesitate like a half a beat before. Yes, this is what I should do.
Right.
Convention, social convention.
Now, did I get
internal commentary on social convention? Yes, I will take his arm.
Am I getting this right? He's wearing like a suit with sort of a mock turtleneck underneath of it.
It's actually an entire nanobot suit. He's been working on coming up with more kind of sophisticated, making it look like it's multiple layers. He was very, very proud about it. He hasn't figured out the color stuff yet, but so yes, it does look like a does look like a at least in the picture, it looks like a suit with a turtleneck.
And I've been
which is very kind of retro cool.
And I've been told that it can do colors, or I should be able to do colors. I mean, theoretically, I should be able to do colors. The science is sound. I just haven't been able to, get it to go. Chaperones spotted in the wild do not include Aegis. I did not have Parker and Waters show up. Well, they're around, but they're not going to.
I was going to say, yeah, Alicia's reaction would, oh come on, they couldn't use drones or up in the Raptors or something.
Right.
So if she doesn't see them, she'll assume there are drones up in the rafters.
Summer, you're kind of in there with the pony. You know what we forgot to draw for this? Taz.
She shows up at the most inopportune times for Leo anyway.
She really does, yeah. And she sort of manifests within the ponies crowd next to Summer, and it's kind of like, hey, so where's everybody? Oh, look, there comes Otto, and how are you doing? How come you don't have a date?
I'm good. How are you?
Not an answer.
You're very perceptive.
Right. Are we bitter or are we happy about the thing that we're not answering?
Well, honestly, mostly happy. That means that I get to look out for my friends and just kind of relax and not worry about things.
Okay.
Like everybody else seems to be really stressed, you know?
Not me. I am the chillest cat in Paris right now.
That must mean you don't have a date either.
That is absolutely none of your true business. But yes, no, I don't. But
well, hang out with me if you like.
Charlotte, she just pulled up. So she's coming here with. Now Taz actually looks somewhat dumbstruck because Charlotte just got sort of hand up out of the car from a limo by Pietro, and Taz actually, like, you can see the whites all the way around her eyes for a second. Like, what alternate reality did I just accidentally slide into? What happened?
See, this is what I'm here to help out with. So,
to make that happen, or to keep that from being horrible? I'm assuming option 2.
Just to keep an eye on her, just to be a friend.
Do you need help? I have an extensive supply of capsicum powder and also Epicac. Separate containers.
Maybe just be here and spend time with me, and it'll be okay.
But Epicac. No? Plasma prints. Epicac. She's kind of like weighing the two, like she's got scales. Like weighing.
I don't know the temperature at which Epicac turns into plasma.
No, you put it in the. Let me explain the great wonders of enforced vomiting on disagreeable people. And she kind of takes her elbow and steers you further into the dance. No, okay. All the girls are doing that. Harry's coming up, and Harry, probably the first person to see you guys coming up, Harry, is Kid Calvin. Who's like sitting next to Stingray, and he's like, he sees you and he kind of does like the, like sort of a chin nod, sort of a turn. There's this thing that group does occasionally where it like looks like they're about to give you sort of the recognition head nod, and then they sort of look away halfway through. Like kind of like the looks like a handshake, and then they, put their fingers back through their hair, kind of a psych thing. Except he starts to do that, and then he sort of like looks again at your date and does a legitimate double take. Or his body gets very confused, like he's trying to look away and do the, I'm dissing you sort of thing, but he can't not look back. And it actually looks a little painful. And he kind of overdoes it and really kind of violently elbows Stingray in the side, like to get his attention. And they both turn to look, and I mean, what do you do? Do you do anything? Or you just kind of like, do you take advantage of this at all? Because they're a bit speechless and they've been sort of, halfway between dissing Andy and recruiting her for a year now.
I kind of do a head nod over in their direction and then continue walking with Andy.
I see. Okay. And she's got the little, the arm thing. And she's like, that was kind of awesome. And I don't know, should I be insulted that they were that surprised that they saw me like in a dress? Or should I just be like, you know what? I don't care.
You shouldn't be surprised about is that you look so good in that dress.
Okay. So yeah, Stingray's pretty makes a point of greeting Leo when he comes up and, a little bit of chit chat. Kate Kelvin disappears at some point in here and heads inside. Actually, he goes in about the same time Carrie gets there because he starts to make some joke about Carrie or at Carrie, and she gives him a look and he decides that being inside is a much better idea. And he can't help but double take it at him like twice because he's like, I remember that kid. And he was like this little kid and he's not a little like, what am I missing? What is going on there? Daphne continues to text Alicia, and you.
Yeah, Alicia's trying to figure out because she feels that she needs to go help Daph, but
and Jason's kind of like, do you need to go somewhere? I mean, we can both go. I can meet you at the punch table, I guess, or
that's if that's a socially acceptable thing to do, that would be good. I have my study partner is having a meltdown of some sort, and I need to go to her assistance. But I will meet you at the punch bowl.
Okay, or I could come. I'm an expert on meltdowns. Sort of.
She kind of gives him an appreciative smile. I
mean, in the same way that a Pompeii victim would be, I suppose, but still, expert.
Actually, that kills two birds with one stone, but because she wanted to know about what I meant by landing. So,
okay.
But I may need to shush you away if she freaks out having another person show up. It's very confusing.
All right. Sure. Now, so the texting is continuing, and she tells you where you're going, and you actually walk up to her, and she's still texting. Like, WTF are you? And she kind of she starts to move out of your personal bubble, like to get out of your way or whatever, and kind of looks up, looks back down her phone, looks up again, and her eyes like, oh my God, kind of. You look amazing.
Thank you.
All this for me. And she hugs you. Was she you're hugging now, I guess? And
I give her a hug back.
Awkward back pat. She mutters in your ear like, he said yes, he is getting punch, and it is terrible and horrible awkwardness. Help. And you came with Jason Quill.
Is Jason Quill.
Of course you did. And you landed because you have flying cars, which is awesome. And you didn't tell me you were coming with anybody. I
told you I had a date.
Hi.
I did tell you.
I'm Daff.
I told you I was buying a dress for a date. Yeah, Daff.
I didn't think it was going to be
Jason. Daff.
Amazing. You're amazing. Hello. And do you guys need to, I mean, you don't need to hang out with me. We're fine. And
well, you sounded in distress, and I wanted to respond.
So, oh my God, his name's out of my head again. Maurice? Is it Maurice?
Marion.
Marion comes back, and he looks unbelievably nervous. Like he doesn't even know where to put constant patter thing, that's all out the window. He has no idea. There's no I brought I didn't bring 4. I only have 2. I'll go back and I'll get more.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We can go get some punch. Good, nice seeing you, Marion. Nice to you look. How does he look? How's he dressed?
He's like, he has a tux, like full 3, like with the vest, like full blown splurged on prom level attire. Totally overdid it for this. And
you look remarkably formal.
Yes, I have. That I bought heavily into the capitalist system for this one, really a lot, and you can see kind of Daft kind of doing the bridge of the nose pinch thing in the background. We're gonna.
I was going to say that, but I thought I would be polite for one evening.
No, she's in the background. She's not where he can see it. She's.
No. I'm saying Alicia's saying that to Marion in his comment about how he kind of bought into the whole capitalist system.
Oh, right, but he did it for you.
But a certain measure of socialization is necessary to become enough part of the system to be able to change it from within.
Indeed, you look very socialized. You are truly a spy working their way into the heart of the machine to bring it down. Well done. I can only assume that you are working with a partner to bring all of society crashing to its knees and rebuild it into a glorious new utopia. And you swear his mouth is just disconnected, is just going on random autopilot. In a way, not unlike certain quills that you may know. In panic mode. What do you do? Can you rescue your friend?
Yes, I
wanted this.
What's that?
I'm sorry?
No, I mean, she did want this, but how do you...
She did want this, but she didn't want this.
Rescue the situation, I guess, is really more accurate.
Alicia will kind of lean forward, put her finger against his lips to stop him talking and say,
okay,
Daffiness looks very beautiful tonight. I think you should appreciate that.
Yes.
Accept what's going on and have a good time. Give her that cup in your left hand. Consider a dance.
Oh God.
She's trying to be pleasant about it.
But okay, I'm still gonna have you roll a provoke.
That's totally
sure. That makes perfect sense.
Because you're being pleasant about it, but in a very direct, like, it's, you know,
it is what Duff loves and hates about her.
If Bruce Wayne was going to give socialization advice to, like, Tim Drake on his first dance, like, Anyway.
Yes, the difference would be that Bruce Wayne actually is a lot more comfortable moving in these sort of social spheres than Alicia is. So
Bruce, while he's basically in the Batman attire, except for the cowl, sitting in the Batcave. Do you have any advice before I go to the dance? Yes. Be sociable, appreciate her, and make sure you hand her the punch that you brought her. Also dance. Have you ever been to a dance? I've been to dozens of dances. They were all very enjoyable. Now go. Anyway. So yeah, why don't you give me oh, you did roll provoke. Look at that, an 11. All right. He kind of blinks and just goes, because, I mean, is there just a hint of a threat there? A little bit of steel in the voice? Like you need to snap out of this before I snap something on you?
Sure, yeah. Just like Daph looks really pretty. You should give her that punch cup. Maybe even dance with her.
Is it low enough that she can't? Do you deliver this in such a way that she can't hear?
I'm trying to deliver it just to him.
Oh, a little lean in kind of bit of advice thing.
Yeah, given the general sound level around us, not even counting whatever the band may be doing at the moment.
So what you have accomplished is you have provided Marion with something more terrifying than his best friend dressed up for a date. Yourself. And now that
my work here is done.
And now that he has scale provided to him, he's realized that she's not nearly as terrifying as whatever like megalodon in the deeps.
Dragon woman she does, yes.
Yeah. That's scary. This is just Daff in a dress. By comparison, really not that bad. I love it. Okay. So that was after they depart.
I'll lay my head back, and give Daff a reassuring smile.
And Daff looks a little confused, but then Marion turns around and goes, "Hello, I have punch and a dance card that I would like to use. I don't know how scratch that. I don't know how dance cards work. How about we drink punch and then go dance?" Yes? No?
Daff flashes to her thumb. Yeah, Daff says yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
punch.
Thumbs up.
And dancing. Good plan. And they kind of, Jason, after they go, that was artfully done. In a be a shame if anything happened to your kneecaps kind of way. Unless I missed something there.
No, I think you caught the main subtext.
Was that a point to Alicia?
It was 0.2 Alicia. It's more like about a 0.4, I think, but well-meaning.
My motivational speaking tends to be more directorial sometimes.
I am not.
But
I am not unaware of that, but it can be a good thing. Punch or socialization or dancing? I programmed my suit with a number of very acrobatic dance moves. And I am joking. I did not do that.
There is actually briefly a
yes.
growing terrified expression on Alicia's face, because that sounds like something exactly
absolutely
like
something that Jason would say, but it's self-aware enough that but he actually is self-aware enough to realize that's one of the cornier things that he might say and know that he didn't actually do that. But it does lighten the mood. It does. It does lighten the mood.
Actually, Alicia laughs at that and says, "Prove it."
All right.
and takes him out to the dance floor.
Prepare to be absolutely horrified and stunned by my lack of skill that can only come from a natural inability. And then he
don't worry, I'll be there to take care of it.
Okay. All right. Holding you to that. Watch out for your feet. Carrie. Actually, I'm going to pause that for a second. Adam, what do you and Carrie end up doing mostly?
Remember, Adam practiced dancing, so he's got to dance with her at least once.
Yes, he did practice dancing.
He is going to very awkwardly explain that. He's like, and he kind of like looks over at Charlotte's direction. It's like, so my friends really wanted to make sure that I knew how to dance for this.
Seriously? She kind of grins, like gets this sort of cockeyed kind of half grin, like that's really? I thought we'd end up sitting on the bleachers all night. I mean, I don't really know how to dance, but if you do, you can show me, I guess.
I don't really, but okay.
All right.
I will show you what 3 hours of learning how to dance looks like.
Wait, who taught you?
And he kind of like nods over at Charlotte's direction and is just like, her and then nods over towards Summer.
Ooh, fancy and cool. That's that. I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna try to not.
I think the ballroom is not going to be involved. So.
Okay. All right. That's kind of. That's nifty. What, Harry, in dance class, one credit of Jim, was your preferred dance to do with Andy? Because you guys ended up getting partnered up fair regularity. I remember this. I remember a quarter of gym, like when I was in junior high or something like that, being nothing but dance lessons from our gym coach in the auditorium. Horribly awkward. Anyway, what was your preferred go-to?
From that.
What's that? You broke up a little bit.
Oh.
Did I break up or did you break up? Did you not hear what I asked?
I'm hearing you on my side, Joyce.
Okay.
But James is
James is either breaking up or I stunned him. Hello?
Hello.
Are you guys, did we lose you for a second?
Yeah.
Right.
We're back.
All right. Yay. All right. So James, my question for you was, what was your preferred dance to do with Andy when you guys were back in the dance class? Back in all those many months ago.
The jitterbug.
The jitterbug, of course. The classic jitterbug. You guys are making Kaylee so happy tonight. I just need to tell you this.
Jitterbug into my heart.
Honestly, that's from my own experience because
Mm-hmm.
I took social dance and our final was actually creating a dance with jitterbug moves.
Nice.
And I remember teaching some moves to my friend when we went to prom. So we kind of stood awkwardly to the side of the mass of humanity and did the jitterbug.
Nice. So do you guys wait until a good song for that dance comes up, or just dance until you finally hit something where you can do that?
There is no good song.
Oh, come now.
It all lies. Every time you see like prom in a movie or television show, it's a lie.
It's a lie. Well, partly because inexplicably they decided to let Kid Calvin be the DJ for this thing, and he keeps playing like dubstep, not super useful. And so you guys try a little bit, and he's like, you know what? Hang on a second. And she heads in the direction of the DJ table, and actually like converges on the table about the same time as Carrie, and both of them kind of lean over the table and have words with the master of music for the evening, and he finally like throws up his hands like, all right.
Harry, do we share a worried look betwixt ourselves?
Yeah, what do you guys do while they're busy laying down the law?
I grab some food from the nearby table.
Of course you do.
They have some really good cheesecake bites. Oh, and cake pops. Cake pops are worthless if you have to actually buy them, because they're not enough to justify the cost. But if they're there
and free,
you know, available, I'm gonna pop those things back.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. Cake pops.
Once again, speaking from experience.
I was gonna say, duly noted, cake pops. Okay. So and while you're getting the food and everything, Charlotte, Pietro seems reluctant to head near the dance floor. You know, ply you with punch, cake pops, sweets, certainly not a downside to this, but he kind of just sort of wanders around the outside edge of the space without really, you know, talking this person, that person, you know, that kind of thing, but doesn't seem too very inclined to head anywhere near the dance floor. What do you do? I'm deathly curious what's going on with Leo and Arya too.
I would say, I said, you know, would you like to dance?
Says, which feels terribly forward, but I am. But you still have a little cake pop left to eat. There, I mean, I wouldn't want you to get anything on your dress, and somebody might steal it if we leave it here. Maybe we could
pop it in my mouth. It's done. It's a cake pop.
It's a cake pop.
One bite.
Come on, people. It's a cake pop.
You not like to dance?
I don't know. You know.
Luck, because I've always about dancing, so I'd be happy to. But if you want.
Is there a way that we can dance where it doesn't look like I'm having to learn in the middle of it?
I find an appropriate corner. Chaperones. Therefore, no smooching kids to hide, you know, to disturb.
Sure. The chaperones are well distributed. Officer Amari's been taking care of distribution to make sure that there's adults that, you know, well seated throughout the area. The rule for the dance is you can leave whenever you want to, but you can't come back in. So if you want to stay, you have to stay. Which is communicated pretty clearly. And you're going to try to coach him through this. He's not bad.
Like a 4-step.
He's not bad. He's just oh, is this gonna look? Oh, this feels terribly awkward. This is gonna look ridiculous.
Oh, really? Is that all you care about?
Oh, really? And then you kind of motion over his shoulder to the people who are dancing to the last of the dubstep, who are basically just bouncing up and down like idiots. He's like, "Oh, a fair point. Uh, I suppose they're all very busy worrying about whether or not they look ridiculous. They're not going to notice if anybody else looks ridiculous."
It is my experience that most young people dying of embarrassment or being afraid that they will die of embarrassment like this.
Well, I suppose you. And he kind of like exhales a little bit and goes, "Well, I suppose you would know." And then he looks horrified that he said that.
Why?
Because you would know about being dead. Like I suppose you would know.
It takes her so long. It takes her a while.
So he's like, I suppose you would know about that, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. And I don't understand. What? Why? Because you. Oh, right.
I get my first really good laugh of the entire night.
I mean, he would be very proud of himself if it didn't terribly confuse him that you found it funny. He looks more puzzled than anything else.
I didn't die of embarrassment, so you don't need to worry about that. And I'm happy being dead. I like my life, so it's not something I'm embarrassed about.
All right, that's good to know.
For a loop.
Arya, Leo, Arya has sort of quietly asked, or, mentioned that she'd sort of want to wait until the slow music comes on before, well, unless Summer gets out there, and then maybe we can all dance with the ponies. I have made promises to that effect. If that's okay. They all seem to think that you're, wouldn't want to do that. I'm not sure why they would think that you wouldn't want to dance with a dozen pretty girls all at once, but...
Wait. What?
More of a group thing. Kind of, just think of it as a really brightly colored mosh pit with a lot more fleece.
What?
Right about then, Adam and Harry come up while, Harry's got like one handful of cake pops that he's sort of like put the sticks between his fingers to kind of hold them. And then he's eating a couple other things on the other hand. Adam, what did you end up grabbing? Or nothing? Are you just kind of walking around with your hands in your pockets waiting for Carrie to get back?
Yeah, I think Adam's like, for some reason, he just has like a napkin in his hand. It's like the most awkward thing to be holding on to.
That's awesome.
It's just like, he has no idea what to do with it. He has nothing to, he's like, I can't put it into my pockets. These are my nice pants. I can't just let it go. And I don't see a trash can. I'm just holding on to this.
Ari said, "Oh, look, it's Harry and Adam. You should talk to them while I go and check with our friends on what the dance plans are."
Wait.
Love you. Bye. You guys are just sort of left standing there. Girls have abandoned you.
Adam will be like, do you feel like we got set up?
Yeah.
He sounds so despondent. Yeah, I do. So from where you guys are standing, you can see Jason and Alicia are absolutely, I mean, they're kind of dance fighting, sort of. They're very bad. It's very bad.
I thought
But
you meant like actual fighting, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith fighting. I was
no,
like,
they're
yeah.
like it. I mean, they're dancing. It's certainly in rhythm to the music, but at the same time, they're really just like you're pretty sure if you watched Alicia for more than for like with any kind of like you can almost detect the kata that she's sort of like cribbing off of to like have a move to do, kind of. And Jason's just kind of it's not good. But they don't seem to mind. I guess they're grinning like idiots. So that's a good thing, I guess. Um, Charlotte and inexplicably Pietro the Plasma Prince are sort of heading.
Doing the box step.
They're doing the box step in the corner, completely out of rhythm to the rest of the music. And then eventually, so the song kind of ends, and we go into what you could really just this music playlist. If you want a timeless, like we can't pay the royalties for the current modern stuff, and we don't want to date our movie too much, so we're just going to get classic high school dance music and play it in the background. Get the soundtrack for Can't Hardly Wait, because they just sort of grab every classic high school dance song that shows up in the in the 80s and 90s and just sort of lace them into the background. But yeah, some Billy Idol comes on or something, and as Kid Kelvin sort of throws up his hands, and the girls descend upon you, and I mean that rather collectively, because from the one direction you've got Andy and Carrie coming, and from the other direction you've got Arya sort of being borne along by sort of a rolling surf of ponies. So Summer and Arya sort of in the front, but there's just sort of like, for some reason I've got this, like if you took the ponies and then combined them with the artwork that you've seen for when the river comes down and sweeps away the ring wraiths, and Gandalf makes them look like horses, except they're the ponies, and they all kind of.
Leo's gonna turn to the others and just say, "Gentlemen, it's been an honor."
Just before they all kind of descend upon you, and the next hour, 90 minutes or so is basically grinning, stupid, sweaty dance floor stuff that I will concede to James never really happens at dances in the movies live, but this is a comic book, so we get to do this and have it actually work. I'm going to mention a couple highlights. I'm also curious about a couple of highlights for everybody else. There is at one point there is a sort of a techno remix combo thing or a cover or something of a Big Bad Voodoo Day song that actually works pretty well for a jitterbug, and you actually get a small circle of people like cheering for Harry and Andy doing a proper sort of Charleston jitterbuggy kind of thing, complete with like pulling her through through his legs and then up kind of thing, and she may kind of cheat a little bit there and fly a little bit at the end to kind of go up higher in the air. So there's a bit there with that. When not box stepping, Pietro's dance move tends to be sort of a very overdone head bob to prove that he can actually hold the beat, but that's about it. He very awkwardly, after about 10 minutes of the dancing sort of happening very nearby and Charlotte being talked to by the PowerPoints and sort of slowly being assumed, manages to do sort of a, it's cool, man. I'm just pretending this is no big deal and hoping that you just sort of pretend this is no big deal. We're all kind of hanging out in the same area, kind of head nod, what's up, kind of head motion in the general direction of Leo. without it being like a thing, except he's so carefully like trying to make it look like it's not a thing that it looks like he may have hurt himself, kind of thing. I don't even know if Leo would notice necessarily, but
Leo would be like, "Yeah, that's cool." He'll just nod along like it's okay.
Yeah. You're Leo dancing with Arya, dancing with Summer and Arya and Summer dancing.
They're going to put in a request for the Jacksons dancing machine, by the way.
That's awesome. Kelvin is just kind of given up at this point in time. I mean, he's just actually at one point when you look over there, the music has gotten decidedly better for this kind of thing. This is about 20 minutes in. It was okay. It's gotten better. And you look over there, and Kelvin is he's being ordered around the table and frantically digging through his laptop files and that kind of thing. And the one actually running the tables right now is Taz, and just kind of pointing imperiously. And at one point, he throws up his hands and she reaches into her jacket and pulls out like a flash drive and hands it to him without really even looking at him. And that's the last you really see of that. The music gets decidedly better at that point. Summer now there's other people that sort of gravitate into this. Daff is there with Marion. So it's high nerdity. There's a high like nerds having fun quotient here because you've got like Marion's friends and the Power Ponies, or the Power Ponies, just the ponies, and Heroes of Magic kind of going through, and she's sort of wheeling through and taking video and pictures and stuff, kind of coming around, wheeling around this thing. Who was the other person who was also in the? So she's getting pushed kind of by Power Pony while she's taking pictures and filming. You guys see what?
Got the doo-doo-doo. I thought I was losing you again.
Oh no, still there. So that's going on.
Timing,
yeah, it was. What else? I have such a picture in my head of what Adam looks like when he's not trying to do the regular, like the Charlotte approved dancing. What does Charlotte look like when she's doing like casual dancing? Or does she even do that?
Well, she can do that. I mean, most modern dance moves actually have their roots in more historic waltzes and things like that. So.
Okay.
Even the jitterbug actually has more classical forms in it.
Sure. Well, I was thinking just like, sort of dancing by yourself dancing.
Music. She likes music.
He likes music. There you go. I'm trying to think of other.
Summer owes me a dance at least once.
Yes, Summer dancing with Charlotte. Summer dancing in the direction of Jason, and then them kind of like not doing that.
Alicia did tell Summer that she was going to have at least one dance with Jason.
Okay. Well, then they do a like sort of a fast dance. Jason is again, and you can see it now that you're taking a step back. He's really quite terrible, but he's brave. He's very brave, taking that out where other people can see it. Just so brave.
Boy rides a camel. He's brave.
He actually gets cut in on. Jason does. By it's really kind of mosh pit's not quite the right word, but it is bit chaos. Everyone's sort of dancing with everybody. Summer does end up dancing with must be one of Marion's friends, who's smiling a lot and keeps trying to say things over the music, like and you can't quite hear most of it because it's just too loud. And he finally just, she's like, I can't, and he smiles. It's like it's no big deal, kind of body language, later is, all he says, and kind of lets that go and just dances and stuff. And then, uh, doesn't stick around necessarily. He's not like lingering or anything like that. Just kind of, another time kind of thing. What other things, because I want to make sure that we have visual moments here that you guys are thinking of here. What other bits are snapshots of the dances are that people are going to remember from this evening?
I want to say Summer and Jordan improvising the tiny arms dance, because that's what T-Rexes would do.
Yeah. Oh my God. I think that's awesome. Adam, does Adam think that's awesome? Carrie, if you guys are doing that, Carrie is literally losing her shit.
No. Carrie probably dragged Adam. Adam probably started laughing, and then Carrie's like, come on, and pulls him into it.
The tiny arms dance. I love it.
And at some point, goes on. And everybody groans and then howls with laughter, and everybody's doing the Macarena.
Oh my God.
Badly.
Badly, because it's a generation back and no one really knows it, except
It's like the chicken dance. It lives forever.
Inexplicably, Andy is flawless at the Macarena.
I'm also flawless at the Macarena.
Apparently, Kaylee is also, so she claims.
It is not a claim, it's a fact.
Where's the... Oh.
Alicia gets it after she sees it once. Looks like the stupidest kata she's ever seen, but,
Yeah. This doesn't even...
But it does look like a kata.
It may be her new favorite dance. Line dances, very popular with Alicia. There's moves I can memorize. The electric slide, she's right there.
But don't ask her to do the robot. Oh my God.
I got that. I got you covered.
Country dance. I think it was in college, and she loved it because it didn't matter what your feet were doing as long as you were making the right patterns.
Yep. I had a friend who insisted that all of his friends learn the electric slide. And he goes, because it doesn't matter. We were in South Dakota. It didn't matter whether it was. He insisted that you could do that to anything, and it didn't matter. Country music, hip hop. If you wanted to, you could slam it and just sort of shoehorn it onto anything, and it basically worked.
The hustle. Everybody should learn the hustle. Dun, dun, dun,
That's a
dun,
terrible
dun,
idea.
dun, 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 dun. Hey, I learned that in middle school.
Hey, I dance like Jason, so.
I was gonna say that
Jason comes by it naturally.
Leo's actually already dressed to dance the hustle, so that kind of works out. Hang on a second. 1 sec.
Yeah, I mean, most of my time at prom was spent either outside or up in the side room, just avoiding the loud music.
Well, it's different if you're there with someone to dance with, but yes.
I think that at some point, who has force fields? I know it's something that Adam can do.
Adam isn't going to pull him out, but
he's sort of undercover.
Telekinesis might.
Oh yeah, he could totally do it.
Yeah, so at some point, we're all sitting on the bleachers, trying to talk, and I think who would be most likely to say it? Maybe one of the ponies. Telekinesis, I demand the cone of silence.
Nice. And I can actually see Harry asking for that. There we go. All right. Sorry, I had to adjust some stuff. Apparently, So Kelly wants to hear the end of this thing, but I'm trying to shut off the monitor. When I just shut off the monitor, it makes the sound shut off, and the sound isn't attached to our monitor, which is weird. Anyway.
Remind me just.
Go
ahead.
Remind me later this week to tell you the story about my parents' broken refrigerator.
Okay, I will definitely.
Do we get any sort of slow dance in all of this?
Oh yes, absolutely
Okay.
slow dances. So tell me about slow dances. Jason and Alicia slow dancing.
Jason and Alicia slow dance.
He's not nearly as terrible, but that's basically like put your hands where they're supposed to go and then sway.
Kind of, sort of, more or less. Alicia tries to actually get them to move a little bit, and it has a high enough dexterity to sort of avoid Jason stepping on her feet. So,
So has he earned your forgiveness yet?
Actually, he was more the question.
He was sort of the.
Well, I was angry with him. He was more angry with me, but yeah, I'm willing to. Alicia's certainly not trying to make this all a problem at the moment.
No.
Jason seems to be kind of trying to make amends for however things went at dinner, which
and also just kind of have one normal night.
Yeah.
Which is
so she's good with that, and actually that probably does end with a nice, moderately lengthy, but not
enough to get the chaperone's aesthetic.
Not chaperone alarm setting off kiss during the dance.
There's somewhere during the fast dancing, you would have found yourself dancing with Nono for a little bit. Jason would have, just because bucket list. Charlotte or Summer, how often do you check in with Charlotte during all that?
Charlotte's pretty much the reason that she's here, so I would say like every few minutes. Like she's just going to glance over.
At least visually, yeah. And he's being remarkably well behaved. He's a little bit he's like the only person he's actually mostly comfortable around is Charlotte at this point. So he's kind of not really interacting with anybody else. I mean, I don't want to.
Suggest we go to the drink table when some of the others are there and make sure that us in the corner kind of a thing. But I'm not going to make him join the big group and stay there.
Yeah, he's doing the social event in this fashion is new territory for him. So he's a little bit like playing close to the vest. Any other slow dance notes we want to make here? Harry and Andy?
We rock it. That was.
You got the jitterbug thing out of your system. That's pretty much.
I mean, that was something else I was taught.
Yeah. Oh, the slow dance.
Though it's kept from getting too serious, as we both laugh at the reminder of our teacher who would often say, leave room for Jesus.
Oh my God. I have to hope that in this school, at least somewhat, it was a little bit just them being like incredibly awkward and like ironic, but at the same time. But yeah, they whenever it starts to get a little bit serious, Andy or you say that again, just to keep it from getting too serious. I
want to see Adam's parents dancing.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Adam's parents dancing. Jordan, like, is actually, since she's in a dinosaur, it's not quite as good as the pony thing, but she's basically hanging out with the ponies that are in onesies.
Who
That
thinks
sounds-
she's an adorable mascot?
Yes, she's officially a pony. I don't know who the one who would be drawing the cutie marks on paper and stuff, but Maury definitely has some in her, like, with her. So they're probably up on the bleachers designing some. No, of course, no. Power Pony are up there with her, designing cutie marks, and or she can be the honorary Spike. Oh, it's even better. Oh my God, she can be their Spike. It's so good. All because the My Little Ponies have to have their pet dragon. But yeah, folks dancing.
So Alicia, unexpectedly, but taking it on as something she needs to do, will be keeping her eyes open for Daft to make sure that everything is going along okay there.
Everything seems to go It seems to be going surprisingly swimmingly there. When it gets actually right about this time of night, most of you guys all get certainly all the team does, Jason included. Andy, Telekinesian, get a message saying after party is ready. It had to have come from the mom because there's no eggplant.
Freezes in mid-dance.
There's no eggplant. Yes.
There's no eggplant, so it must be Harry's mom, not Harry's dad. And Harry gets an additional text of bring them to the statue. About 30 seconds later, please. Dead silence.
Did we lose James?
I'm not going to text back while I'm dancing with Andy.
Fair enough. I'm just telling you, I mean, assume that this happens at a point or that you're getting this information once you can actually look at the thing. Also, Andy got the text. So that happened. What do you guys do? I mean, do you still hang out for a while, or how much time goes by between being informed of that and actually doing anything about it?
How many slow
Well,
dances?
I have to. Well, I
Half
can't
an
leave
hour?
without appropriately something for outsiders.
Yeah, I mean, you
Well,
wouldn't
I
be
will
bringing
probably-
Pietro to this. That wouldn't be a thing.
But I don't want him to feel like I'm running away from him, so I will, on his being the perfect gentleman and do with when he's himself.
Honestly, this went out.
In a nice way. In a nice way.
Well, honestly, this was really nice, and I didn't really expect it to. I mean, maybe we could do it again. Not this, because it won't be February, but we could do something else. Maybe we could do something else. Other things.
I would like that. A
Cool.
little smile and
Oh, okay.
on the cheek and say, "Sorry, I gotta go."
All right. No, yeah, duty calls. I should go too. Gotta return the tux. That's tomorrow. I'm an idiot. Never mind. Anyway. Okay, so
So what name did I get out of Pietro? like his family calls him. They don't call him Pietro. That's way too pretentious.
I need to think about that, unless somebody has a really good suggestion. I don't know what the
There's a
diminutive.
Russian diminutive, but
Yeah, I don't
He's
know
a
what.
PD.
Yeah, maybe. I need to think about what the diminutive what that would be. And he may not be. I'll think about that.
Petya.
What's that?
Or is it a related? That's a related name.
Yeah.
It's a version of Peter, so it would be anything that in the language goes well with Peter.
Now, also technically, Pietro's his middle name. Plasma is his first name.
I'm.
Oh my goodness, does he have parents that humor him and like, yes, Plasma?
I think I might be having a stroke. Anyway. All right. In the interest of the hour, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, because I don't want to miss any dance stuff. But if we've gotten at least some of the dance, I'm not gonna attack this with superheroes. So,
I did have something for that though.
What's that?
Just so there's something superhero related other than the Code of Silence, I feel like at some point, since Carrie is like a public figure, at some point, like during one of the dances, like she starts dancing with Jordan and like picks her up and maybe starts like floating up and just like making Jordan's night. At which point, like Jero comes over, is just like, no powers, and just like shouts above the music.
Sorry. Jordan's like, no. But yeah, no, she loves it. She's gonna talk about that for weeks. It would be so cool if you had powers, or if I had powers. That would be even cooler. I want to fly. Okay.
Flying dinosaur for the next week.
I was just waiting for you to be like, I wish you had powers. Take a powerful blow at him.
No. It's really more. Jordan is much more keen on the idea of she wants to have powers.
Well, Joyce, if you didn't see it already, we had suggested that Jordan saw Summer transform out the back of her window, but whether that happened or not is up to you.
I think it did happen. I also think Jordan is not telling anybody.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, I am filing that away because Jordan has a secret that nobody else knows until she has a chance to talk to Summer about it. Because God no, I mean, Adam would ruin it. He'd tell everybody. Yeah, Jordan has a secret that she is clutching to her chest like the most precious jewel. Anyway. And yeah, you may even, I don't know if you would notice it tonight, but in another environment, you might notice that she definitely keeps an eye on Summer. And she does mention a couple of times how awesome she thinks Summer's dress is. Like, best dress ever, I want one kind of thing. Okay, so eventually Harry assembles all of you guys down at like this small kind of out of the way park in the downtown area, but it's sort of like it's sort of amongst buildings and stuff. It's not very big. It's like about the footprint of a building, like a apartment complex or something like that. So kind of just amongst everything. It's just a little couple of benches and a statue kind of in the center, kind of a thing. I don't remember. And when you guys get down there, Tempest and Streak are waiting. Chase kind of comes up with his hands in his pockets, kind of a thing, but he's just sort of, hanging out in the background. And he goes, "All right." So this is Streak. Harry, if you'll do the honors. I can't remember what the actual thing is for getting this thing to happen. You got to whisper something to the statue, right?
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't matter really what you do, but you can just eventually you'll have to explain it to everybody. But for right now, there's people around here you wouldn't necessarily explain it to, so you can just kind of go up and So Harry goes up and mutters something, says something to the statue, and I'm trying to think of what would be a really cool effect. I kind of like the thing that they do where like the camera kind of pans around people, and when it finishes its pan, like the surroundings are different.
How about like what they did in The Shadow when they unhide the entire hotel?
Oh, I like that.
I love that effect.
That is really, really cool. You guys know what we're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just sort of a pan wipe almost.
Yeah, but it kind of like a almost
kind of wavery
kind of.
Yeah.
So, as you're in the park, so he does this, and the area around the park, except for really like where the gate is, where through the gate you can still see the street, but everything else sort of expands to be where the park is sort of just the center of the wider space. More trees, and just kind of expands out from there. And Chase kind of casually goes over and just swings the gate shut for the park, or what would have been and that goes away, and then it expands in that direction either. And the statue's still there, but you guys are in a much bigger sort of park, still park-like in its sort of makeup, in that it's not like a forest, at least not immediately nearby, and way more tree. Obviously, the trees expand, and all the trees have been hung with like lights, so it's like a nighttime cotillion kind of thing.
Like a fairy party.
Like a fairy party, yeah. Tables have been laid, food, sort of like I want to say fancy versions of like those blow up couches that you see all the time now at like outdoor concerts and stuff like that. There's music playing from somewhere, just kind of in the background, sort of casual stuff, but mostly it's just spread of food, more drinks, rather incongruously, like it's branded soda, stuff like that, in amongst the fairy. It's not like anything like that, but yeah, just a place for you guys to more socialize and relax. So, like I said, Andy's still here, Carrie's not. TK is? TK isn't. Andy is. And Chase.
You see where your date's rate.
Well, TK wasn't part of it. Carrie's in the other group.
It's wonderful.
So, I mean, Harry, are you going to explain this to that? Like how this came to be? This is actually Harry's, I guess now, or yours. It belongs to you guys. Or Harry, I guess, or I don't know. Harry, you explain it.
Well, I know since Jason left the team, I say kind of nodding over to Jason, we haven't really had a place.
Who looks vaguely uncomfortable.
Haven't really had a place to gather, and
Adam also starts looking uncomfortable.
Well, Grandma Swift had this big, like, ring of keys from various groups that had bases that she had been involved in. She somehow ended up with all of them. And she let me pick out one for the menagerie. And it has this place, the Twilight Glade has lots of stuff for us. It has some, has information.
And you see Andy kind of like elbows Chasing, goes, the Twilight Glade, like she's heard of it? Like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? Kind of, this is just happening in the background while you're explaining things.
Yeah, it has a library full of tomes and stuff, lots of information, food, music, art, always good. And then there's some healing equipment for when people get injured, which kind of.
That pricks up Alicia's attention.
Well, equipment. It might be better to say sort of a field effect. There's more than a bit.
There's an aura.
Yeah. I don't want you to think that there's a lot of. There isn't really a med bay sort of thing, as I understand it. Your grandmother never really shared this out, so this is, stringing the lights was really the first time that I or your father really got a chance to even see the place, and we had to really beg your grandmother to let us in long enough to do that, because apparently it's yours now, and we're not invited unless you say so. So there you go. Free food and drink and entertainment at the place, which makes our next thing a little bit more awkward. We were, well, maybe for another time. And right about then, Streak walks in and walks back over with the food and says, "Did you ask him if he wanted to join the HHL yet?" And she just, for the third time tonight, you see somebody who desperately wants to pinch the bridge of their nose and go, "Boy." And she just kind of slowly turns, and he's like, "I thought we were gonna. What did I?" Everyone's kind of looking at him. So that's a no then?
On a side note, be careful with the statues.
Super awkward. What does anybody do? Because
I
like how Harry completely ignores that whole thing and just goes, "Yeah, watch out for the statues too." Also,
so Joyce, you cut out on the keyword at the end of that.
Or in the middle of it.
Which part?
I assume you said HHL.
Oh yeah, no, his streak came back up as Tim was looking. It makes it kind of awkward. What we were all, oh, never mind. And then Streak walked up and said, "Hey, did you ask him if he was going to join the HHL yet?"
Okay.
And that was kind of the wince-worthy moment there for all that.
That's fair. Leo's still got to retire one of these days.
But. Well, and that was actually at that point in time, Tempest is like, I think this is probably better for you kids to just kind of explore your place. So we're just gonna go. Oh, but we're gonna go and trust you all to be on your best behavior. Continue to be the heroes that we know you are, and have a great night. And we're going to get out of here.
Before they get a believe Charlotte will walk up to her and say, Mr. Gale, Mrs. Gale, this is amazing. Thank you for being so thoughtful.
All we did was string the lights, but and kind of arrange things with your grandmother. But thank you. Obviously, you've done great things. Yes, you've done great things, and you've certainly suffered for some of the great things that you've done. So you deserve at least one restful night. So enjoy, and we'll get out of your way. And she kind of motions to Chase. What's that?
Right, dear?
Right, dear? Aww. Silver Streak has moments of Homer Simpson. Anyway. And at the time that it is late. I really did intend to get to the thing where Leo says I'm retiring. What do you think? What do you think, Leo?
It'll take like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean we're okay here. I mean, James, you've got work tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
does
he's here until midnight, so.
So what does the socialization look like? I mean, what are you guys doing? The gist of the place, if you do any exploring, is that it's all kind of arboreal. There are like Harry's been informed that they're referred to as flets, but they're basically like sort of platforms up in trees that have been done up with like furniture and whatnot. There's sort of various places to sort of hang out, natural clearings, that kind of thing, but it's all kind of forested. There are randomly and sometimes in clusters statues of people, very realistic statues of people that he says, really, let's not hang out around them tonight. That's complicated.
Is this one of those places that if you walk far enough away, eventually you find yourself back where you
back
started?
Yes. Pretty much. Harry, you've had the opportunity to test that. It's not a full place. It's big, but it's not, like a full other world or something like that. It's a little pocket thing.
Alicia definitely wants to explore this whole thing.
Yeah. So you find yourself wandering through the trees with Jason. And kind of getting the lay of the land. You've been able to determine that basically as soon as you're out of sight of the statue, you're essentially, you've got maybe about a 5-minute bit of distance there before you're basically walking back toward the statue from the other side.
So it's a little pocket dimension. So Alicia's trying to kind of like frame all of this in terms of, no, this isn't a little scrap of fairy, which would be the obvious
thing.
Silly answer. No, it's a little pocket dimension. Not sure how the plants continue to grow, but I'm sure there's some sort of
a day-night cycle. Jason says, finishing your sentences for you.
Right. Jason's probably actually trying to rationalize this. She would be, but they're probably both spending a lot of cycles trying to come up with the.
Heard about this, but Dad was never really very big on keeping track of what happened with the back in the SOS. It was old generation stuff, and they had a lot of weird stuff that happened that he found annoying to try to explain. So he just didn't talk about it very much.
I can imagine he would find this annoying, which actually kind of makes me happy.
Yeah, he definitely would find this annoying. Yeah, you're not. Neither one of you have really heard anything about the Twilight Glade as a superhero base or anything else, really. But yeah, you do get while you're laying out the thing, Alicia, kind of getting you end up sort of walking back to the group regularly, just from different angles, and different directions as you're like sort of getting the lay of the place. Um,
So these little flats.
right.
You said they kind of just had some furniture, stuff like that. Are they
Railings.
kind of like
There's chaise longue. The what beds there are sort of like mounds of pillows kind of thing. They're not temporary by any stretch of the imagination, but they're very Lothlorian.
like, okay. I mean, sort of feels like patio furniture kind of a thing, or
more of a.
Hey, would someone live here?
Or a Swiss Family treehouse.
More Swiss Family treehouse, I guess. But let me get. I'll find some screenshots of what I'm thinking of. For now, but no, they're. Yeah, people could live here. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Alicia is all of a sudden presented with this base, trying to decide whether.
Now
after the discussions of this is temporary. Maybe if the base has some housing, whether this is like housing she wants to be in, or if she has justification for not being here, or.
I mean, you're not seeing a plug-in anywhere.
Well, there's that, yeah.
And that's, I mean, it may not. Everything seems very magic-y and dimension-y, and that's.
Do you get cell reception here?
There is an ambient glow about the place that keeps stuff healthy, including electronics charged.
Which is awesome. And technically, it's still. Stuff has to be done to the technology to like get cell reception, but yes, it can be done. It's just weird. But yeah, you wouldn't necessarily have like a electronics shop set up unless you did, in which case it would be, I don't know. You just need a portable fusion generator. You could probably get it. Yeah.
I feel like I'd be.
Go ahead.
I feel like I'd be careful bringing too much stuff into here.
Oh no! I want to build a huge industrial shop here in Hobbiton, because that never goes wrong.
I'm telling you, Lothlorian, you're thinking too much hobbits and not enough elves.
Well, I was trying to. I was. That's where I was getting kind of the industrialization thing.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Alicia's not going to make any opinions about this.
Yeah. Harry has.
Although she is kind of realizing that she's kind of wandering around through these secluded, shadowy groves with Jason.
Yeah. Eventually.
Woo.
Eventually, that occurs to you. It takes some time. Yeah, Charlotte, you get. I mean, there's a bit of a weird vibe here, certainly. Same thing, really. Concord. It feels a little weird being here. Like you're not quite. I mean, kind of a codeine-based cough syrup kind of feeling.
Yeah, it's just like I would imagine, given what I, the player, know, there probably should be like this aura of dread over it. But somebody's like put up magical wallpaper instead.
I don't want it to. I mean, I don't want it to be like, oh, good, our super base is haunted, but it's kind of creepy. The thing is, you have Harry is lived his whole life around super tech and superpowers, and weird magical stuff is like the one thing that's still cool to him that isn't just crap that he deals with every day. So that's kind of what he thought was neat. So there's history there that you guys can all dig into and stuff like that.
So Charlotte, are you going to see if you can actually sort of move in and out of this place?
Tonight, I think we're just enjoying the magic.
Enjoy the magic.
Speaking of,
Yes.
I'm just no, I'm not going to do that tonight. I think tonight it's just going to be, kind of subdued as we're all down from our sugar highs.
Yeah. Lots of food, and the food never seems to really run out. Which is convenient, I guess. Especially if you're Harry. I mean, really, it all kind of makes sense. It's magical stuff, which means Harry finds it interesting, and they never run out of food here.
Exactly.
It's possible he said this is the base I want before Grandma got to the part about the statues being haunted. And then didn't care because still free food. Free never-ending food. No more chip runs. I just get what I need. I don't know. Leo, what do you think?
I think it's a good base.
Well, you guys. Well, no, I mean about the other thing. Do we want to have that while you guys are all kind of lounging around and?
That seems like an opportune moment.
Everyone's kind of eventually after the exploring has happened, and the questions have sort of died down, and people have given up trying to get Harry to explain the statues thing and why they can't mess around with it. Everybody sort of ends up on these pillows and stuff and munching and filling in the corners and sort of just relaxing. And Jason, once again, it's like, guys, you could have kept using the compound. It was fixed. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with this. I feel bad that you didn't, but everyone can still keep using the compound whenever they want to. And he's kind of looking a little bit at Summer when he says that, which reminds me that, well, never mind. But I mean, just because I'm not in the team doesn't mean I can't help. I want to help. I'm sure if
Jason, you are helping. You just can't help all the time. It's okay though.
All right.
Alicia will reach over and put a hand on his arm and say, "Thank you."
Okay. This is really cool. It's, it defies the laws of physics, which is, annoying, but, just the physics we know about, I guess. I was trying to give Leo a bit of a lead in there with the having left the team thing, but didn't know if that was going to be a good jumping off point.
There's some meta there, but like if you feel this is a good time and people are ready, then yeah, I'll do it.
If you, if not, if it feels like it'd just be like an awkward shoehorn, we don't need to do it right now.
It actually feels like the opportune time. So
all right, well, you guys are lazing about, and
so Leo will let people know by standing up that he's got something to say, and Arya is going to stand up with him. And I want to let you guys know I need to retire from the team. I'm going to be a student, and that's what I'm going to do.
So when you, as soon as you stand up, Summer's got this expression on her face like she knows what's coming until you say "be a student," and then she's like, "Wait, what?"
Well, not really a student. So during recent events, I asked Arya if after I graduated if she would marry me, and she said yes. And she asked in return if I would be a father to her child, and I said yes. And all of you, I'm sure, can imagine I have very strong opinions about fatherhood. And that one part of that opinion.
There's at least
like the first reaction.
There's at least 4 snorted half laughs when that happens. Like, oh God, yes. Except for Adam, probably.
and part of that is that you have to be a father first.
Wait, Adam, what was that? I want to make sure I get that.
Oh, I was like, I'm 12. This is already a lot to process. That one of my friends is like talking about getting married.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt, Leo. Do what you're saying.
Oh, no, it's all good. I just feel that you need to be a father first, and that means that I can't just recklessly endanger myself all the time, no matter how important it might be. There's clearly some.
She elbows you kind of right after that. How important it might be, elbow.
Oh. So the short version is I'll be available for consultation and technology, and we're going to try to help the city. We're going to try to help the world in the ways that we can. But I'm not going to be out in the field.
Are you going to be a mad scientist?
I'm not mad. I'm just tense. But yeah, I'm going to do science, and it's going to be great.
I'm trying to think.
I got stuff for each of you.
Now I'm worried.
Ooh, it's that adventure in the quest.
So for Harry, Leo got some of his very fine, very tough, like carbon nanotubing fiber for cabling. You can drag people behind you. You can tie people up at super speed. You can trip people. You can do amazing things. Use it or leave it on your shelf. Up to you. Alicia got a pair of pistol attachments with his grappling system, and the specs for building more if she wants to customize it.
Like sort of undermounts for the pistols?
Yeah, basically. Like if she needs more mobility, then that's one way to do it.
Thank you.
I like that. That's fun.
For Adam, he got a handwritten journal. This is all of the conversations that I've had with my dad or been meaning to have with my dad lately. If you want to know what courage and truth and love is from me, or if this is real for you, this journal contains a lot of all three.
So good.
Wow, that is.
That's so good.
Mm-hmm. That is.
So for Charlotte, I got a complete dump. I wrote a script of every genealogical record, every historical site, every just kind of like resource that I could find on the web for North Carolina and surrounding states. This is, as far as I can tell, the most complete, automatically gathered genealogy and historical database that I can possibly offer. If you don't have a computer, then I don't know if it's going to help you much, but maybe somebody here can plug in and we'll work that out.
Quill compound, says Jason.
We can assist.
Yeah. So, yeah, research facilities, ready up. Wait, was that everybody?
Well, Jason already has what he wants, so I can't.
Harry.
Top that.
Oh, Harry got the cable.
Harry got the cable.
The cabling.
Interesting. Okay.
For yeah, the cabling hijinks.
Alicia will stand up. She will bow to each of them, kind of, that half bow with the hands together and say, "Congratulations." And
That's not bad, honestly. I'm thinking of Alicia's whole thing with the bots. That's quite a move.
Where's Church Son in the Futureverse? She reconsidered her position.
There's been quite a bit of that.
I actually have one more thing, and I'm going to tell this to Charlotte specifically, but the rest of you might be interested. Robotics is not something I'm doing right now. I'm taking up the study of time, space, and dimensional physics, and there's 3 reasons for that. The first is kind of minor, like the whole Dr. Infinity thing was kind of terrifying. Maybe we need to think about some defenses against that, and so I'm kind of looking into that. The second is that
I'm just going to point out I have to have Summer make a side comment. I just want to point out that you're in your numbering system. You just listed Dr. Infinity as the minor cause for this. That's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Well, the second is that there's an awful lot of alternatives and parallels and whatever's out there that could probably use some help. Maybe some good can be done for them at some point. And the third is that time, space, and dimensional physics relate to the quality of inventiveness that's in my brain. I've got this mutation that does a thing, but as far as my dad knows, it searches basically parallel alternative worlds for the one place where what you're trying to make worked the first time. If I can replicate that, I can give that to the robot creations, and then they won't need me anymore. Their destiny will be in their hands.
Arya elbows you again. At the "they won't need me anymore" thing.
Hey, not all of them collectively. Like you individually are fine. Just saying.
All right. It's if you want any help with that, I get to do this because Jason's an NPC now. If you're looking for any help with that, or funding, or partnership funding, that sounds really exciting. And kind of ties into some stuff I want to do with the superhero, like our generation of superheroes.
Jason, I wouldn't trust anyone else.
Halfway through that sentence, I didn't know how it was going to end, but I'm really glad how it did. Well, all right then. We'll talk later. Okay. So
We're all at a loss of words.
we're all at a loss of words. There's a lot to process.
This is a very high note to end season 2 on.
It really is.
I would just like to say, congrats, man. Wish you guys both the best.
We could not have done it without you. Thank you.
And Andy Kellings ever goes, did you hear the thing where your dad said something about you joining the HHL? Any comments, Mr. Gale?
You kind of broke up there.
Oh, she sort of mutters under her breath over, did you hear the thing about your dad saying something about you getting invited to join the HHL?
You still broke up.
Maybe don't whisper.
Am I breaking up for the consortium in general?
You're breaking up for me too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay.
But just at the end of the sentence.
Andy sort of like mutters over to you about whether or not you heard what your dad said about you being invited to join the HHL. Like, you heard that, right? Like, what are you gonna do with? Are we not talking about that tonight?
I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but I think that I would appreciate being able to discuss it with you.
Okay. Huh. That is, yeah. Yeah, we can do that. Like, you might have really got her on that one, because that's like let's discuss life choices together kind of thing is not a move she was expecting or ready to defend against.
Yep.
You might have really got her with that one. That's pretty
we
good.
Just dropped a wedding bomb on this group too.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I dropped a wedding bomb.
And a children bomb too.
Technically, this is only the second to last episode of this season, so I can still make everything horrible next time, but that's 2 weeks from now. All right. Because it's late.
2 weeks from now is Labor Day.
Oh, is it? Well, then it might be 3 weeks from now. We might this might be the season break, because next week we can't do, and then 2 weeks from now is Labor Day, and I'm going to be in. Oh, that's right. 2 weeks from now I'm going to be in Breckenridge.
And
Which
I'll be
really
at college.
shouldn't make me sigh the way it did. Yeah, you get a couple weeks here before we got to worry about how that's going to all work out. All right. So with a big break coming and ending this season on a remarkably high note, Alicia, closer to the team, farther away from the team, more into your own image of yourself. Start thinking about the answer.
Definitely closer to the team.
The question is who?
The question is who? Damn. I need to think about that for a second.
Jason.
Well, I mean, I'm tempted to say Jason, but I'm not a member of the team anymore. But you can still come and hang out with me. Sure, I'll give Jason influence.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think he already had it.
He probably already has it. Oh crap! There we go. There go the stats.
He's gonna raise your mundane and lower your danger.
You pausing or did you cut out again?
No,
He cut out.
I cut out again. Ugh.
Mm.
He's gonna raise your
He's got
mundane.
the defensive.
He's gonna raise your mundane and lower your danger.
It's
Lower
like right at
my
the end of sentences.
Danger.
Yeah, that's danger. Okay.
That's so weird. I don't know.
You're pulling a James now.
I'm sorry.
It's only when it's important stuff.
Blah 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 blah, and then lower danger. Okay. Summer.
I'm gonna have to say closer to Alicia after forum shenanigans.
Oh yeah, that
Ooh.
was really good. That was really good. Okay. Alicia, unleash hell.
Yeah, I've already got influence over Summer, so
Yeah. Harry.
none of us just ever actually make use of that.
Well, time to do that.
Well, we do in the team part.
Yeah. Harry, closer to the team, farther away from the team, more into your own image of yourself.
Closer to the team. And
Chip chop.
am I allowed to say closer to Andy?
I mean, yeah. I think you already gave her influence. I think she already has influence over you.
Yeah.
All right. She is going to. The thing she's going to do, she can't do because you have Savior locked, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But she thinks you're just swell. Margie.
You can carry a +1 forward to, your next date.
No. You have to burn influence to get those bonuses. Sure. Charlotte, closer to the team, farther away from the team, more into your own image of yourself.
There, I have a question. Did I gain influence over Pietro? Calling Peter now.
Yes. You may be his first real friend in the school, and you're not even in the school. Yeah, you have influence over Pietro.
Peter, you mean?
Peter. He's only Pietro, the Plasma Princess's main thing,
No, I think he should be Peter.
Peter.
I've decided.
All right. So you got influence over him.
Get closer to the team, and I'm gonna say Harry for his really thoughtful gesture of, doing the whole base thing.
Yeah, like it. You might be the only one who's not fundamentally creeped out by certain aspects of the base. So.
You mean like these statues that? Yeah, just
whisper secrets
don't
to
mess
you
with them.
and know things that they shouldn't know.
Summer is totally on board with this space, by the way. Okay, this is great.
Summer is totally okay. Awesome. Concord. What do you think?
It's gonna be the last time I get to do it, so we're gonna say closer to the team and Leo.
Leo gets his shift labels one more time on Concord, which he's been doing since, I think, session 2.
Anything I try to shift is locked, I know.
So, there you go. It's all right. Clear conditions or pick up potential as you see fit.
I'm ready for my second advance.
All right.
Margie, did we ever figure out advances for you, or are we still thinking about it?
Started a thing on the forum to chat about it because I'd had some wanted to on it, so
That's cool.
Oh.
I'm glad we're actually finally having the conversation, so that's good too. There's
well, I mean, part of it was sort of that I might be interested in. A lot of their moves go around something that's specific to that book.
Well, I like the
a standard move, and so there were a couple of things that I think will work. That I'm kind of getting down to deciding on which one I want to do.
I like the suggestion of sort of the. I think Bill had a. I think it was Bill had a suggestion as sort of like a becoming a real girl kind of thing. It was sort of a reskin of a Janus move, maybe.
That was Mike.
Oh,
that was me.
There's a naive. There's a move in the naive book. There's a move in the
It's innocent.
The innocent book, yeah.
Innocent book.
Formed.
Yeah,
I
kind of like the transformed one where you're like really, really scary, but
not the one I wanted.
I like that one a lot.
That was one I thought she should take, but
I already do that.
Yeah, but you only ever do it on a 6, you know. That's do it actually have it as a benefit instead of being what happens when you roll a 6 and you terrify somebody. But
Margie, I will tell you, if you take the powerful blow one that you mentioned, I got that 2 advances ago and I've never used it.
What is it for? Oh, it's when you take a physical.
Oh, that's the transformed one, yeah. It was a physical powerful blow, then you.
I clearly need to hit you more.
I've asked for it.
I'm working on it. I'm sorry. All my powerful blows are mental ones. I
have a powerful blow move that I have used.
Yeah, I have. I do way more damage to you guys by talking to you in a reasonable voice than I ever do with like hitting you with stuff. We'll see if I can't change that. Just to make sure that everybody's moves get honored. I'll have to hit you more. I promise. I'll do my best.
Also, Doyce.
Yes.
You didn't ever move me as Andy.
I didn't ever move you as Andy?
You didn't shift anything.
I don't need to. I can't because she was going to raise your savior and I can't because you locked it.
Well, then you need to give me a condition.
No, you can't. You can't move.
If the label's locked, just nothing happens.
Yeah, if it's locked.
Oh,
if somebody doesn't move and it's or does the shift a label and one of the labels that would shift is a locked one, then nothing happens. So.
Like what just happened with me is Alicia would have shifted my mundane up. My mundane can't move. The shift is still legal though. In that case, I took a condition. But if the label is locked, that just whatever would have applied the shift just does nothing at all.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Okay, I came into the whole locked stat thing late.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's locked versus maxed.
Yeah. Yeah. So she can't move what she wants to move on you, so nothing happens.
The move from the newborn is a mind of their own. Your powers evolve and mutate. When you're faced with an obstacle or threat that your powers would not be able to deal with, you can mark a condition and gain brand new abilities adapted to the situation.
I mean,
powers once the danger is gone.
It'd be a bit of a.
It kind of fits with some of the stuff that
yeah, I mean,
she was doing.
You've got a lot of flexibility. Your powers have proven to be very flexible, and that sort of reflects that.
I'm still deciding on what it is. I mean, there's some good ones on Nomad.
I think of that particular choice as being sort of a manifestation, a deepening of the manifestation of the fact that you were created as a amalgam of Infinity and Everard, where it's less about you and more about the fact that you're, sort of tapping into that origin area, which has its own, scary connotations and so forth. I ran into something, and this is where I'm going to wrap up because it's just kind of a fun little thing to share. We had talked about something about this sort of in the past. It's kind of a fun deal. There's a guy who does this thing over on the Gauntlet gaming group where they organize a ridiculous number of games, and it's almost like it's impossible to even find time to get into any of them. But there's a guy who does these things just recently called Star Wars Saturdays. But what he's doing, which I find kind of fun and fascinating, and I'm not nearly motivated enough to do it, is he's running Star Wars games every Saturday, but every Saturday, or like every batch that he does like all the Saturdays in a month, and then he switches game systems to
Oh wow.
so he's not doing the same characters. They're little like 1 month little clumps. So he grabs the game about doing drug running in Colombia called Cartel, and he reskins it so you're working for the Hutts. And then he does One Percenter, which is this game about like it's basically I can't remember the name of the show, but there's a TV show that's kind of about being in like a biker gang that was really popular on like A&E a couple years ago. But it's like Sons of Anarchy. It's basically Sons of Anarchy, the role-playing game. And he took it and reskinned it so you're a swoop gang. Okay? And then he did a month of playing Apocalypse World, where you're basically moisture farmers and stuff on Tatooine. And he used the system for that. And he's just like he's going through, and it's every Saturday, every month. It's a Star Wars game, but every time it's a different it's a different system, like reskinned for Star Wars, and it appeals to me.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's a really neat idea, and I thought it was like it'd be really fun to do this setting and just side stories that are done with completely different systems. We talked about it at one point in time, like Aegis stuff run as Delta Green, sort of Green Berets versus Cthulhu kind of weird stuff and things like that. It kind of reminded me of what that guy had done. It was just a neat idea. Doing not super stuff, but just stuff in that setting is kind of fun. Anyway, random thing to share.